Hello guys, I'm back. Today I will teach you how to start reading one of the most important documents, not only chemical process engineering plan design, but also to operations. If you want to become a real chemical process engineer, it is mandatory that you know how to read a PNID. My name is Jefferson Costa and I teach students, graduates, and engineers how to work with chemical process engineering and plan design. To teach you how to start reading PNIDs, I will show you a real example of a distillation column PNID, very complete, but it's important that you understand what is the meaning of PNID. And the most common meaning for PNID is piping and instrumentation diagram. But PNIDs can be also known for other names, like shown in the process industry practice. Common synonyms for PNIDs include engineering flow diagrams, EFDs, utility flow diagrams, UFDs, that in fact is a PNID for the utilities of the process, and mechanical flow diagrams, MFDs. So people also use PNIDs as process and instrumentation diagrams. And looking into the definition for PNIDs, we can get as reference the ISO 10628-1 that says that the PNID is based on the process flow diagram, PFD, and depicts the technical realization of a process by means of graphical symbols representing equipment and piping, together with graphical symbols for process measurement and control functions. It seems to be a little bit complicated. Don't worry, I will explain for you everything. What we have seen from the ISO definition in summary is that the PNID is a multidisciplinary document, and it is a document used to detailed graphical representation of the process for sure, because we use the process flow diagram to build the pipe instrumentation diagram, including hardware and software. Hardware is equipment, piping, instrumentation, the physical instrumentation, and the software is the control loops associated with each one of these systems, necessary to design, construct, and operate the facility. As a multidisciplinary document, the pipe instrumentation diagram will show equipment and associated pipes and fittings, instrumentation, control loops, heat tracing, insulation, piping components including their size, class, and tag number, minimum and maximum distance from the equipment or instrumentation, because sometimes we have limitations, process limitations to define the correct position of these fittings, and design conditions for equipment and pressure relief devices. All of these we will see now in a real example of a distillation column PNID. Just as a reminder, with this video you will start reading pipe instrumentation diagram today, but if you want to master the art of reading and developing pipe instrumentation diagram, I strongly suggest you to take a look in my In-Process Booster PNID training. The link is available in the description of this video or in my website. That said, let me share with you how to start reading PNID as a real chemical process engineer. Here we have a pipe instrumentation diagram for a debotanizer, and the debotanizer is a equipment used to remove butane and lighter components from a hydrocarbon stream. The main objective of the pipe instrumentation diagram is to show the equipment, control valves, control loops, the pipes, and etc. as a multidisciplinary document. But to start reading a pipe instrumentation diagram, first you need to know that the pipe instrumentation diagram in general is split or is arranged in three main bodies. We have the stamp, we have the notes, and we have the drawing. Sometimes in some companies we have also a place to have the equipment design conditions. So let's explore each one of these parts. In this stamp, you must guarantee that you always have the last revision of the drawing, because from one revision to another we have changes, and if you based your decisions in a earlier version of the document, it can lead you to mistakes. So in the stamp you will find the companies are associated with the pipe instrumentation diagram. You will have the title of the document. You will have a number that is specific for each document in a project, and you have a table of revision to verify what was changed from a revision from another and when it was issued. Moreover, we have the notes that has important information to inform the reader of important information that must be considered for plan design, and we have also notes to be considered for the operation of the plant. This is one of the sheets for a PNID, and a PNID can have more than 100 pages depending on the project, and it's important to you get familiar with the abbreviations, line service, and miscellaneous that sometimes is delivered or issued in a specific sheet. We have also equipment symbols, piping symbols, instrumentation letter definition chart, instrumentation symbol sheets, 1 and 2 in this case. So all of that completes the PNID package and must be known by the chemical process engineer in plan design or in operations. Going to the drawing, what we need to start with is verifying the flags. So the flags in each drawing will show you what is going to your process in this sheet and what is going out to another sheet. In this case, there is lines that is thicker. If you can see, this line is thicker than this line because in some companies uses a system that shows the main process as a thicker line and the secondary lines as a less thinner line. So this is a way to understand where it starts and where it finishes the process. So if you go here, you verify that the butanizer feed is the main line, go in, it enters the equipment, and there is the top line going out, it's go to the overhead, and there is the reflux returning to the column. So between the overhead and the reflux, probably we have a condenser and a vessel separator and eventually a pump. So all of this is shown in others pipe instrumentation diagram, and you can see here that it goes for the drawing 11-003, and the reflux returns from the drawing 11-004. So there is at least 2 drawings after these flags here. And in the pipes, what we must verify is that there is the identification of the pipes. Most often, the identification of the pipes complies of the process fluid letter. So P in this case most probably is for process fluid. We have a series of numbers to designate the area for the plant. Sometimes it is organized as area 100, area 20, area 1000, and etc. And we have a sequential number that usually is composed by 3 digits. So in this case, we can assume that we are in the area 11, and the sequence number for this line is 106. Moreover, we have the identification of the pipe size, in this case 8 inches. We have here a series of nomenclature that will designate the pressure rating. Different operating conditions will lead to different pressure rating that can define the thickness of your pipe. So if it will be schedule 40, schedule 80, schedule 160, and etc. We have information for insulation in most of the times, and also the information for the material. It is not clear what means each one of these letters because we are not evaluating the table of the sheets of symbols for piping symbols. So all of this information will be shown or will be reviewed and explained in the piping symbols. Besides the piping, that's why we are talking about pipe instrumentation diagram, we have also the instrumentation in the drawing. So what is the instrumentation? Is the devices used to measure some kind of variable. It can be flow, temperature, pressure, composition, and others. So in this case, I have a control valve here. In some instrument lists, control valves are inside the instrument list. So we have here a temperature indicator transmitter, that is an instrument. We have the thermal well, that is an instrument also. So the type of the thermal well is shown here in the drawing. And we have information related to control. So the control is what will be defined, or what is the action that will be done by the measurement of the variables. So for instance, I have a flow meter here, and I know this is a flow meter because it's flow element, and all of this designation is shown in the instrument symbol sheets, 1 and 2 in this case. So there is an instrument of flow that measures the flow, send the signal for a flow instrument controller, and there is in this case here, there is an instrument for temperature that reads the temperature, sends it to a temperature indicator controller, and this type of line here, you can see that is different from this type of line here because the information from each one is different. This dashed line most often means that it is an electrical signal. So the flow element will send an electrical signal to the transmitter, and the transmitter will send this electrical signal for the PLC or SDCD. In this case here, we have the electrical signal from the instrument to the transmitter, and the transmitter sends a signal to the controller, and as both of them are in the control system, we don't need to send, or we will not send the signal as an electrical signal, but as a digital signal. So it means that the interface between the field and the control system is done by electrical signals, but the interface between different components or control loops inside the control system is done by digital signals. We can verify also the instruments related to the safety of the system. In this case, we have a pressure safety valve that is shown in the pipe instrumentation diagram, and most often, 99% of the time, I have seen the pressure relief devices indicating the opening set point. So it is important to have the opening set point in the drawing because the operator or the commissioning team are able to verify in the field if the information that is shown in the PNID matches with what was calibrated in the field. As the piping, the instruments, and the control loops, one of the objectives of the pipe instrumentation diagram is to show the equipment. So in this case, we have 3 equipments. We have the distillation column, that is the butanizer. We have the reboiler, that is responsible for adding the energy in the bottom of the column to allow the vaporization and distillation of the components. And as we are using here a source of energy to the reboiler, steam, this steam will enter the equipment, will change or exchange temperature, and it goes out as a saturated condensate. And to keep the balance here in this reboiler, we have here a condensate pot that is responsible for calibrating or equalizing the pressure in the system. This condensate pot has a control loop associated with a control valve that is shown as a LV to LIC, a transmitter for level transmission, and we have a LG that it means in the field, in the local position, we have a glass that is possible to see the level of this equipment. This control valve in this control loop has a bypass valve, so you can see that each valve, manual valve, has different symbols. So this symbol here is different from this symbol here, because in this case the bypass is used to, in case of the control valve must be go to maintenance, we have isolation valves. So most often it's used as isolation valve or gate valve or bivalve, and for controlling to simulate what is done by the control valve, we have a throttling valve that in this case most probably will be a globe valve. The amount of information or the details of information shown in the drawing depends on the phase that you are in the project and also the procedures performed by the company. For instance, here you can see that each nozzle has a size and also a nomenclature. So the nozzle N26, if I go to this equipment data sheet, I will verify that it is the liquid inlet or reflux inlet and it has 6 inches. If I go to my reboiler, I will see in the equipment data sheet or in the equipment drawing that the nozzle N3 has 80 inches and it is the hot fluid inlet. This kind of information sometimes is not shown in the pipe instrumentation diagram because I can imply from this valve here, for instance, isolation valve, 3 inches isolation valve, if I connect to a nozzle, it is the same size. So I eventually don't need to show these 3 inches because my nozzle already shows me that it's connected to a 3 inches valve. And the nozzle number sometimes it's not shown in the pipe instrumentation diagram because it's information for the mechanical drawing of the equipment. And to avoid too much information in the pipe instrumentation diagram, sometimes companies prefer to not show this kind of information. And of course that if you are in the preliminary stage of the project, you don't have this kind of information. This kind of information is only available when we go to the detailing design of the project with the purchase of the equipment and receiving the documents from the vendors. As I told you, some PNIDs uses also the information of the equipment. It can be in the top or it can be in the bottom of the drawing with information regarding the design conditions of the equipment. So you can see here that we have the botanizer, the tag of the equipment. As I told you, each equipment and each document has its own tag because they are unique in a project. In this case, we have the size, that is mainly the diameter, and the T to T or tangent to tangent. It means that the H shown here is from this tangent to this tangent, not considering the top and not considering the bottom, only the tangent to tangent. It's the most common way of representing or informing pressure vessels in the pipe instrumentation diagram. We have also information related to materials, so this is stainless steel 316. We have information related to isolation, the type of insulation and the thickness of insulation, and we have also another information here related to the trim. You will verify that different equipment has different table of design. Here we are talking about a column. Now we are talking about the botanizer reboiler, that is a sharing tube heat exchanger. So in this case we will have information related to the duty, to the shell, design pressure and design temperature, tube, design pressure, design temperature, the material, the thickness, and also the trim. With this, now you know that you must be aware of the stamp area, the notes area, and the drawing area, where sometimes we have information for the design condition of the equipment depending on the phase of the project. And to support you to understand what's inside the drawing, you need to go to the pipe instrumentation symbol sheets. Now that you already know how to start reading pipe instrumentation diagram, it's time to give you the like for this video, and moreover, you can download this presentation and also the pipe instrumentation diagram that I have shown to you here in this video. You just need to look for the link available in the description. And I suggest you to be more familiar with chemical process engineering and plant design looking into this video here.